collaborate remotely to create and manage projects in a better way. BIM also generates insights that empower decision-making and accelerate better project outcomes. Design teams can use computation to quickly generate and analyze multiple options, focused on results. Manufacturing processes help teams to design, optimize, and prefabricate components in factories that are then transported and installed on site using accelerated assembly methods. With design, construction, and operational data, BIM produces a dynamic, up-to-date digital representation of a physical asset. This digital twin enables informed decisions across the entire project lifecycle and sets the stage for future projects. This is BIM. It's the foundation of a digital transformation in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. A transformation empowered by Autodesk, who is helping the designers and builders of today to shape the built environment of tomorrow. Growing demands.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the online technical webinar, Document Management System for Design Authors. Tushar, if you can confirm my voice is clear.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, thank you. So these are the following program details. This is the opening session, and this will be followed by the session by architect Tushar Yadav, who is a BIM specialist architecture at Capricorn Technologies, followed by architect Nishant Sethi. He is a BIM manager at and senior project architect at AECOM. Then we will have a question and answer session. So I request everyone to please, when the presentation is going on, so you can write your question and answers in Q&A box. And later on in the session, Pranami will be taking up your questions and putting them in front of the panelists. Then Pranami will give you a brief about the details of our BIM for Design and BIM program, followed by the vote of thanks. So I would request now Architect Tushar to start with the company presentation and then followed by the presentation on document management system for design authors. Over to you, Tushar.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Tushar. I'm working as a BIM specialist at Capricorn Technologies. So just give me a moment. Let me share my screen. Okay, so we'll be talking about document managed system for authors, for design authors, and just give me a moment. And precisely we'll be knowing about Autodesk Construction Cloud. So let me start. So here's an introduction of Capricorn Technologies. Capricorn is India's leading design and construction management technology solution provider for the AEC industry, that is architecture, engineering, and construction. So Capricorn has been there since 1987, and we have 20,000 plus Indian customers with offices in Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, and Hyderabad. We have 40 plus BIM experts and OEM certified professional trainers. So Capricorn has collaborated with a US CAD, CADline, A2K from United States, UK, Australia, and New Zealand to form a WinZero company. So WinZero helps its customers for with technological and sustainability leaderships through digitalization. So now talking about Autodesk Construction Cloud. So Autodesk Construction Cloud is basically a cloud-based system for the AEC industry, that is architecture, engineering, and construction by Autodesk. So cloud basically has two packages. So one is Autodesk Docs, which is basically your document management. And then we have BIM Collaborate Pro. So talking about Autodesk Docs first, like the document management. So here we can, like it's a unified platform where all the consultants and stakeholders for a particular project, like the architects, the owners, the, for example, the mechanical and the plumbing and electrical consultants can come together, and like it is a unified platform where all the documents and all the drawings and all the documents with of the project are at one place, and everybody is on the same page basically. Then talking about document Autodesk BIM Collaborate Pro, over here we have document management, and with that we have the features of design collaboration and model coordination. So design collaboration is basically a Revit cloud work sharing. So we can work, for example, there is an architecture team and there are 5 people over there. So they can work on the same Revit cloud work shared model without making duplicate copies of it, and then they can publish it on Docs. Then we have model coordination. So it basically means clash detection. So we can do online like clash detection on ACC. So over here, for example, there are two like there are different disciplines. For example, let's say architecture and structure. So we can like do the clash checking of the architecture model and the structural model to see if any beam is colliding with a wall, or there is some maybe there is some column is colliding with maybe a door or something. So we can do the clash check as well. And then admin insight and dashboard, like this is like the backend. So we have these common in document management, Autodesk Docs, and in BIM Collaborate Pro as well. So what is Autodesk Docs? So as I said, Autodesk Docs is an Autodesk cloud-based platform to allow the users to collaborate. So it is not only for designers, but all the stakeholders in the project, and they can collaborate using this platform. So also it has a direct connectivity with your Autodesk products like Autodesk Revit and your AutoCAD. So you have that Autodesk Docs feature over there as well. Now coming to the various different functions of Autodesk Docs. So number one, we have document control. We have 2D and 3D support. We can create issues. We can create markups in drawings. There is embedded data, and there is version control, and there is we can create transmittals, and then finally we have approval workflows. So in the further upcoming slides, we'll be talking about each of these features in detail. So coming to document control. So here you can see over here, like this is a sample template for different folders where which we can make over here. So the project files is there by default, and then you can add folders and further subfolders according to the workflow of your company or your firm. So over here you can add members, you can for each and every folder, the project admin, like who has the admin access to docs, can add different members to each and every folder, and he can give different view permissions to that particular member. So for example, in the work in progress, we have in the work in progress folders for the architecture, MEP, and the structure consultants. So the architecture people will won't want that somebody from the MEP team is opening their work in progress folder and viewing their progress or viewing their files, and vice versa. So the admin can give specific permissions that in the work in progress architecture, only the architectural members will be there who can view the files over there. And same with the work in progress MEP model, the MEP consultants will be there, and same with the structure folder. Also, there can be a shared folder. Like for example, here, this is a shared folder where all of these consultants can copy the files which they want to share with each other, so that the architecture, MEP, and structure people can view like their progress and see each other's drawings and models. So for example, we have for any particular folder, the project admin can add different members and can give the permissions accordingly. So over here, you can see we have different permission levels. So for example, you have a trainee in your team, and you don't want to, him to make some markups or issues in the files, or maybe delete any file by mistake. So what you can do is you can just give him the view permission. Like we have the view permission for that, and we have view plus download as well. So he can only view the files and he can also download it, but he cannot make markups or make issues or create issues or edit the model, anything. So then we have this create permission. So we can view the files, we can download them, and we can publish markups. So we'll know about what markup is exactly in the further upcoming slides. And then we have this edit permission where we can view, download, publish markups, upload the files on docs, and can edit the model in the, for example, if it's a Revit model, we can edit the model in the Revit software. And then we have the full manage permissions. So this is basically the superior level of permissions for any member. So now moving on. So 2D and 3D support. So let's first talk about the 3D support. So basically docs is a review system. Over here, you cannot edit anything in the model, but you can review it. So 3D support basically is that if there is a Revit model, for example, you can see over here, we have this arc-link model.rvt. It's a RVT file. So we can just click on it and it will open up in the browser. So to review of the files which are on docs, you don't need to have that software on your computers. So if you don't have Revit, that doesn't matter. If the model is on docs, you can just click it and it will appear on the separate browser like this. As you can see, this is a particular view of a Revit model which has been opened up. Also, we have this 2D option over here. So in this 2D option, you can view all the files, all the sheets which are associated with this particular Revit model, which is opened over here. So you can go to the 2D view and you can view the sheets for that model. And then if you then switch to 3D over here, then again the Revit model, you can view that. Now talking about the 2D support over here. So on docs, you can view your DWG drawings as well, your AutoCAD drawings. So here is an example of an AutoCAD drawing. So if you just click on it, so it will open up in the browser itself, and you can view it and you have different options over here where you can make markups and make issues. And if you want to highlight something, if you want to give a comment, all of these things, you can do that. Now let's talk about markups, what markups are exactly. So markups are just like your revision clouds, which we make in the AutoCAD drawings when we want to change something, or we want to, for example, I want to add a window in a particular wall. So I'll make up cloud over there, and I will write that maybe add window, maybe that's W1. So I'll write add W1 over there, and we make clouds. So over here we have when we open a drawing, so in the left you can see this panel appears up. Here you have different options, like you can this is a highlighter over here. If you want to highlight something in the drawing, you can highlight it over there. Then we have different shapes options. We have this text option, and then over here this particular option here is for the making the markup, that is the cloud. So you can just select this, and you can make a cloud by dragging, and then you can add a text. You have this text option over here, so you can add a text over here. And in this example, like we wanted to add a AC unit over here, so like they have made they made a cloud in we can write a comment that AC unit location. So also you there are two types of markups. So one is your personal markups, and one is your published or the public markups. So like architects and consultants these days are really busy, and they are working on multiple projects at the same time. So when you are creating a markup, you get the option of keeping it personal, that it is only be viewable to you, or either you can make it public, that your other team members can also view that markup. So if you you are reviewing a file, and just for your memory you want to make a markup over there, so that you can only see, so you can just keep it personal. Otherwise, if it is for everybody to see, you can make it you can publish it, and everybody else will also be able to see it. So now talking about issues. So issues are similar to markups. Like we want to change something, or there is a clash, we want to highlight that particular clash, that here is a clash over here. But the difference over here is that for issues, you can like when you create issues, so there is this check option over here. So by clicking this, like you can create issues. So a marker will appear up, and then you can just pinpoint it anywhere, and you can make a issue over there. So here you can add a title, what kind of issue it is. If it's a clash issue, maybe some beam is clashing with a wall, so you can give a title, it's a clash issue. And then you have this status option. So if I am creating an issue, so when I'm creating it, so the status will be open, and then I can select the type of the issue, like maybe it's a clash issue. And now I can add a description as well. And then here is the interesting thing over here, that you can assign this issue to a specific team member who will be resolving it, who will be responsible to resolve it. And also you can add a timeline over there, that you can specify that this issue should be resolved within 3 days. Like you can give give the number of days which are you want to assign for the resolving of that particular issue. And you can select watchers. So watchers are like you can add other team members as well for watchers. So watchers are not really responsible for resolving that issue. The person who has been assigned to the issue to, it will be only resolving it, but the watchers can just overlook it, that the person like has done what he was told to, and anything. And then we have this location. You can specify location as well. So now when the person, you have created an issue, for example, I have created an issue, and like I have assigned it to a team member. So when the team member will be getting an email notification that this particular issue has been assigned to that person, and he has to resolve it within, say, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever the timeline is. And then he will be opening it. So he'll be seeing that issue. So here we have this issue center over here. So we can see all the issues over here which have been created. So over here you can see assigned to option. We have Pragati, we have Abhishek. So whoever it is, maybe Pragati is the issue has been assigned to Pragati. So she will see the issue. She will click on it, and she will be able to see all the details, that it's a clash issue and everything. So then she'll be resolving this issue in, if example, it's a Revit model. So she'll be resolving that particular issue in the Revit model, and then she'll be uploading it again. And then what she can do is we can change the status from open to in review. So when she will change the status of issue from open to review, then maybe the person, for example, I had created the issue initially, then I will look at the issue, like I will like see it whether she has done the right job or not, whether like I am satisfied with what she has done, and then maybe I can change the status from open to close. This issue has been closed. Or what I can do, if I'm not satisfied with what Prakriti has done, I can again reopen it, and then again, and I can add comments that please do this change, and then I can again reopen it. Then again Prakriti will have to do the same thing, and then when I'm satisfied, I can change the status from open to close, and then issue will be closed. Also, we have this activity log over here. So over here, all of the activities regarding with this particular issue, like uh, which person created it. For example, I created it. It will display my name, or the date it was created, the time it was created, and who it was assigned to, who were the watchers, and who changed the status from say open to in review, and finally who changed the status from in review to close. So all those things will be documented. So all the information you can check out anytime in the activity log. So now moving forward, we have this embedded data. So what is embedded data? So basically it is the properties. So if you have a Revit model, so right now, like in this window, you can see we have opened a Revit model over here, and like you have selected a particular, so if you select a particular element, it will turn blue. For example, here we have selected a wall, and then a pop-up window will appear. So it will be showing all the relevant properties of that particular element which you have selected. So here we have selected a wall. So it is showing that it's what kind of wall it is. It's a basic wall or a curtain wall, or maybe it's a generic wall. All of these things will be showed along with the element ID. So this 706620 is the element ID of this particular element. So you can, if you want to search this particular element in your Revit model, you can simply type this element ID in Revit, and this particular element will be highlighted in Revit. So you can easily locate this, and it will show all other relevant information regarding to this particular element. So this is basically your embedded data. Now moving forward, we have version control. So what is version control? So basically, whenever on Docs, you upload a model or any file, for example, maybe it's a PDF file or an AutoCAD file or a Revit model. So when you upload it for the first time, so the version will be V1. So over here, you can see there is this version. So right, it will be showing V1 over here. Then again, maybe you had some changes in your model or your AutoCAD drawing, and you made the changes, and then you upload it again. So the version will change from V1 to V2. And again, so as many times you make changes and upload your model again, so the version will change. So it will like V3, V4, V5, it will like this, it will go on. So, but you have to keep in mind that the file name should be the same. Otherwise, it will create another file. So the version won't change, another file will be added. So also we can, we have this compare versions option. So anytime you want to compare the versions, for example, here we just have these two versions over here, V1 and V2. So in live projects, they can be like V10, V15, like this, and so on. So you can compare any version. For example, if you want to compare your V10 with your V5 or V1, so you can do that. So you can just click on the version, and then we have this compare versions option, and then you can select the particular versions you want to compare. So here we had just two versions, so we have selected them, and then you can compare them. So it will highlight all the changes which have been done in the updated version. And for example, suppose you have for example, there are 5 versions over there from V1 to V5. So you have the option, suppose you want to there was some issue with the V5 version, or like you don't want that version to be the current version. So anytime you can like make any previous version the current version. So you will have that option also. So here is a snapshot of the version comparison. So here what we had done was that it was a residential project. So here we have these 3 categories when we do the version comparison. So we have this added category, we have this removed category, and we have this modified category. So in the added category, the elements which have been added in the newer version will be shown, and if you removed any element from in the newer version, so it will be shown in the removed category, and the elements which have been modified will be shown in the modified category. So in this particular example, we added some windows over here, like this. These windows were added, and this door, and we added this shaft. So these windows and these shafts over here are showing are in green color. So whenever the added elements are shown in the green color, they are highlighted in the green color. And there were no removed elements, like we didn't remove anything for this particular example. So there is 0 removed. And then we have this modified category. So these walls which have been in the yellow color, they have been modified. Why they have been modified? Because when we added the window, so the geometry changed. So the geometry got modified. That's why it is showing yellow. That is like it got modified. So over here, you can see these like these it is showing basic wall, and we along with that, this number, this is the element ID of this particular wall over here. Also, you can do your comparison, like this was about the 3D model comparison. You can do the comparison in your for your 2D files as well. For example, you can do the version comparison for your AutoCAD files and even your PDF files. So here is a snapshot of a version comparison of a PDF file. So we have this V1 and we have this V2. So the red elements you see over here, they are from the V2 file, the updated file. So any elements which have been added over here in the V2 version, they will be shown in the red color over here. So these two walls have been highlighted because they were added in the V2 version. Same way, you can compare your AutoCAD files drawings as well. And you can see the changes that what have been done in the latest version. Now, further going forward, for any particular element, like you can just select it and you can see what kind of modification was done or change was done to that particular element. So we have selected this particular element, which was this basic wall, and it is showing over here the changes between Arc Model Revit 1 and 2. That is the 1 and the first and the second version. So over here, it is showing the shape of this object has been changed. So so we added a window over here and a door. So the shape got changed. So that's why it is like showing in here. You see a yellow highlight over here. So it is a modified category. So also we have this option that for all the changes which were done in the latest version, you can just compare the versions, and then you can generate an Excel report for in that particular report, all the elements which have been changed, their names will be there. Like here, maybe it's a basic wall, or maybe you have added a window along with the element ID, and there is a change category where what kind of change it is, whether it is modified or this particular element was added, or and then we have this modification option, what kind of modification was there. So we here it was in this particular example, the geometry was modified. So here you can generate an Excel list and a report, and you can see like in a tabular form what all changes were done from the version V1 to V2. So this is basically your version comparison. And now talking about the transmittals. So like in architectural offices, basically like we create transmittals when we have to send files to maybe a client, or we have to send the file on site. So what we do is we make a list of all the drawings we are issuing on Excel, and then we take the printouts, and then we hand it over to someone who delivers it to the site or to the client. So over here, like you can create digital transmittals. So we have this create transmittal option. So you can just click on it. So you can add a title, you can mention your project name and the code and whatever it is, and then you can add recipients. So you can add recipients over here. So these recipients should be like on docs as well. Like they should be on ACC as well. So you can add the recipients, and then we have these view permissions. So it is kind of BCC and CC we use in emails. So we have this CC that the recipients can see each other, that who else has received this particular email, and other kind of permission is the BCC kind of permission. So where the person who is receiving, he will not know who else has received that particular email. So here also we have this view permissions. So we can see all recipients, or the receiver can see only himself. So that kind of permissions are also there. And then we can go to our the project folders which we have made, and we can select particular files which we want to send along as a transmittal. And then when you send it, the person will receive an email notification that a transmittal has been sent, and he will also receive a download option. So over here you can see this download zip files option is showing over here, so that person can download the files from there. Now talking about approval workflows. So again, taking an example of an architecture firm. So let's say there is a junior architect, and he has been asked from the senior architect to make some changes in a floor plan or modify it. So what will be the process that he will make the changes, and then he will, maybe he'll take out a printout, and then he will go to the senior architect who asked him to make the changes, and he will take his comments, and then maybe that file will be passed to the project architect for his final comments, and then it will then it will get approved whether like it is right or wrong, or if they want to make any further changes, they can give comments on that, and then he'll be doing it again. So over here, like we can make approval workflows. So we have this option of creating an approval workflow. So we have different types of approval workflows. So I'll just, yeah. So we have different approval workflows over here. Here we have 1-step approval workflow, 2-step approval workflow, 3-step, 4-step, 5-step, and then we have group approvals over here. So what is these? Like for example, in 1-step approval workflow, like the file, there is just one stage. Either the file will be accepted or rejected. Whereas in a 2-step approval workflow, there be an initial review, and then there will be a final review. So the initial reviewers will be giving their comments by viewing the files, and then it will pass on when they have done their review. The file will get passed on to the final approver, who can see the comments provided by the initial reviewers, and then he will finally decide whether this file is accepted or rejected. So over here, I've taken example of a 2-step approval workflow. So over here, you can see there is one initial review in a 2-step approval workflow, and then there is a final review. Similarly, if it's a 3-step approval workflow, then there will be 2 initial reviews, and then there will be one final review. Same with the 4-step approval workflow. Here, there will be 3 initial reviews and then 1 final review. So we can create approval workflows like this. So we can create an approval workflow. So for example, you can provide a name over there to create an approval workflow. You can give a description that what kind of drawings or files are there in that particular approval workflow. And then you can you have to select who is the initiator. So for example, I am initiating the review process. So I am the initiator. So I have written my name over here. And then the second step is who will be doing the initial review. So you have 2 options over here. Either you can select single reviewer, or there can be multiple reviewers as well. And then we have this time allowed for the initial review. You can you have this option of the days you want to allot for the initial review. So you can change it. Maybe you can want if like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever suits you. And then I have added reviewers over here who will be the initial reviewers. So I've added Soma and Prakriti. So they'll be reviewing the file initially, and they will be giving their comments. And then we have this option that every member must review or minimum number of reviewers required. So if we check on every member must review, then these 2 reviewers who are the initial reviewers, Soma and Prakriti, they both have to review the files and give their comments. And only then it will proceed further for the final review. So otherwise, what you can do is you can select the minimum number of reviewers required. So even if like one of them, either Soma or Prakriti, they review the file and they like give their comments and close the review, the file will be passed on to the final review. Then I can give I can add a final reviewer, like who is the approver, who will be either accepting or rejecting the file. So here we have Vatsal, he will be the final approver. So you can change the time for the final approver as well. You can allot a time over here. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. So then we have this review status. So Vatsal will have the option of either approving or rejecting the files. So we have this icons over here. We have this green colored icon for the files which have been approved by the final approver. And then we have this rejected option over here, that this red icon will appear for the files which have been rejected. Also, there is an option that if you can see that also copy approved files too. So if you turn on this particular option, so here I can select any particular folder. For example, I can select a shared folder. So all the files which have been approved, they will automatically get copied to this shared folder. So for example, if I submitted 5 files for review and out of them 3 got approved and 2 got rejected, so the 3 approved files will also get copied to this shared folder. So you can change the path of the shared folder according to your workflow. So over here we have selected the shared folder in the project files. So here the approved files will be getting copied to this shared folder. So next, how do we submit files for review? So for that, you will have to first select the approval workflow which you have created. So we can select, we have selected this approval workflow. This is Noida Residence 123. And then it's a 2-step approval workflow over here, you can see. So here we have multiple reviewers in the initial review. And then we have this final approver over here. So then you have the option of selecting different files which you want to submit for the review. So you can select the files which you want to submit for the review, and then you can click on submit. So then when it is approved or rejected by the approver in the last stage, so this you can see over here in this particular snapshot, we have this approved files and this one rejected file. So these files are the approved files, and this the last file is a rejected file. So this icon will show along with the in the attributes in the doc system. So this is how you do the submit your files for the review. So that was all from my side, and now Nishant sir, who is hello, am I audible? Okay, sorry. Yeah, so now Nishant sir, who is an industry lead and will be explaining the practical aspect of whatever I explained, and he'll be showing you the practical aspect of these particular features.
Yeah, so am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yeah, so I'll just ask where is sharing my screen. So
Sir,
I've yes.
us, sir, you can just stop the share. First, we have your intro, and then you can share the screen. Okay.
Okay, so let me just share the intro for Nishant sir first. So hello and good afternoon, everyone. I am Pranami Bharali. So I am an architect and I'll be a BIM specialist here at Capricorn. So I'll be the host for the rest of the session today. So I'll just share my screen for Nishant sir. I would like to give a brief introduction for sir. So at any point, if you have any questions, the attendees can give their Q&A, which will be answered at the last. So feel free to drop your questions. So I hope my PPT screen is visible. So I would like to introduce architect Nishan Sethi sir. So who is a BIM manager in AECOM. So he has experience for underground station architect, and he has history of working in transportation and even your truck railroad industry. Right. So sir, this is a brief introduction for you. So over to you, sir.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Good afternoon, and I would be taking you with the practical aspects of all the theory which was just given to you for BIM 360 document management. That how does it work, and what all aspects are there, and how do you run a practical project over the software. So the examples which were shown to you by my colleague Tushar were actually a bit example kind of I mean aspects which were there. So let me just share my screen and start the presentation. So is my screen visible? Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
So So as you can see, this is one of the live projects which I had worked on in one of my previous companies. So this was called Indore Metro, and I mean the one of the packages for Indore Metro, and this screen shows you I mean the uh, folder structure of the project which we had made all over the project. And as you can see that there are different kinds of uh, disciplines there in the fields. There is this architecture head, there is this MEP, there is this structure head, and we have different kinds of various folders as well, which is called common BIM information, SMEB working. We have one of the folders with Navisworks class detection also. We uh, we extract our Navisworks reports every week, and we run those Navisworks class detection tests every week, and we upload the report here in this BIM 360 format, BIM 360 online cloud platform, so that it is visible and available to everyone in real time working format. So as we go through the folder structure which you see here is actually a bit extensive, because most of the folders were made separately after we had started the project. But once at the beginning of the project, when we start or when we make a new project and start assigning the teams, so I'll show you one screen where we see the teams which we have made. So in the team setup and design collaboration, as we start assigning the team, so there are three basic teams which we have made in this project, which was architecture, MEP, and structure. Okay. So once we start making this team, these three basic folders gets created automatically. This architecture folder, which I'll show you in the yeah. So in this project, as you can see, this architecture folder, this MEP folder, and this structure folder gets created automatically whenever you start creating a team. And in the architecture folder, you can see consumed folders as well. Just a sec. Yeah, you can see consumed folders being created inside the architecture tabs. So basically what these consumed folders do is when you start sharing the information with the different stakeholders or the different team members in design collaboration, you can copy their information from the design collaboration and directly gets consumed into a consumed folder, and you can link that those Revit models into your models. And this shared folder is something which also gets created automatically when you start creating your teams in the shared folder. So basically, if you go through the ISO 19650 19650 BIM version, so In that, it is clearly mentioned that whenever you share the information with other sub consultants or with other team members or with the other discipline members, then it is to be done by the shared folder only. So BIM 360, the basic working of BIM 360 has been assigned as per that document only. Okay. So now going through the rest of the aspects. So this was the introduction to BIM 360 with all the uh, folder structuring, and so now proceeding on with the design collaboration. So the portion which I showed you was document management. Okay. So as we proceed, so this the tab you see here is particularly design collaboration tab, and this particular slide is about the design collaboration timeline. So whenever I need to share the information with any of the project members and any of the sub consultants or someone, so all the teams are made. As we make the different teams, the teams which are there gets appeared here in the timeline. Whom are you working with, and the particular circular tabs or the square tabs which you see here in the design collaboration tab, that basically depicts the packages, or where once you publish the model, or the package is shared. I mean, it means whenever the submission is shared or a package is shared for all the models with different disciplines, so that particular discipline. So for an instance, if you see the architecture WIP tab, so all the circles show that we have given different submission on different dates with all the different types of model on each and every particular date. So when you click on the, yeah, so when you click on the particular circle, it gives you the date and the package name which was shared. So like it was an MEV package, and it was shared on this particular date. So we can click on this and consume it as per our requirement. So once we click it, and this since this was already consumed, so it is showing a reuse option. So for the first time, it always shows a consume option in the design collaboration tab. Okay, so moving forward with this, after the timeliner, so this is another one good aspect of design collaboration, is that when in Revit only, whatever sheets you want to publish, whatever sheets you want to be shown with your model in BIM 360, that can be chosen easily. In Revit, there is an option of just a sec. Yeah, there is an option called publish settings. So in publish settings in Revit, you can easily select which all sheets you want to display with your model on BIM 360. And so those the sheets on the left hand side which you see, there are just 5 sheets which are being presented right now. So these were the sheets which were ticked and saved at the time of publish in Revit. So only these particular sheets are visible in BIM 360. And the total slide which you see here is depicting the ease of maneuverability in BIM 360. Like if there is an element in plan which you want to just a sec, yeah, if there is an element in plan which you want to see that where it is in where that element is in the particular model. So once you click on that element, it shows you, as you can view that element with the sheet in a split view. This down here is called a split view mode. So in the split view mode, you can easily click on the element on the sheet and view it in 3D. That what is it, where is it, and what are the properties and all, you can easily view for this particular element on BIM 360 itself. So it really becomes easy. It really becomes easy to maneuver in the project and see that how you can easily. I mean, for the designers and for the senior architects who just want to review the model or just who want to review the sheet, they don't need to open the software every time and view all the sheets. They can easily ask at the time of submission what all sheets get published. They can easily check, review, mark, create markups, do all those things on BIM 360 itself, which can be easily conveyed to the team members who are working on it currently. So this was one of the aspect, the split view format in BIM 360. The other which I would cover, and Tushar also already covered, was the property palette in BIM 360. So, as everyone knows, and most of the people here would know about the instance and type properties of an element, which gets displayed in Revit. Once you click on a particular element, the properties outside which you see on the left hand side are the instance properties, and edit type properties are called the type properties. But what BIM 360 does is, once you click on an element, the same way, once you click on an element in once you just a second. Yeah, so this is a particular element which I click on, and if I right click on it and click on show properties, it will show all the properties attached to it. Like there are some of the properties which I have mentioned, like a nominal size, what is the travels. This is the information which we have fed it inside the Revit family, and which is visible here. So after the model publishing, we can see all the parameters, like what is the base level, top level, travel speed. I mean, we are just talking about an escalator here right now, and uh, I mean the different types of properties. So what are the comments which are attached, and what is the manufacturer of the particular element, and we can add a URL inside the project, inside the Revit, and then after publishing, it shows each and every detailed information inside BIM 360. So for reviewing a project, whenever a project gets submitted, whenever a project is with the contractor or who is viewing the sheets, they don't need to open Revit and go through all that hassle of loading all the worksets, loading all the models, and do all that. They can just easily in BIM 360, only when they get the submission, they can easily view the sheets inside the model, show see properties, so she see the properties, what material is there, each and every small bit of the information of the properties which is there in Revit is easily visible here in BIM 360 only. So all the information, this information is attached to the family and visible here to everyone. What is the material and all also. So I guess this is clear, and in this only, if you want to also view the particular 3D view which we have published, so we can easily see the 3D view of the model. Oh, just a minute, guys. It's not loading. I guess there's some glitch. So, so at the time of publish, we can select the 3D view which is to be published, and the 2D sheets which is to be published, and it easily shows here in BIM 360 or Autodesk Construction Cloud, which is renamed as, which it is renamed as. Now, if we proceed further, so we proceed further with the issues, how we can, I mean, how issues are raised and how it gets assigned to different team members, and what is the exact description, or where do we enter it. My colleague just showed to you. I'll just give you a practical aspect of how an issue looks like in BIM 360 when it gets assigned to you. So this is a particular issue which got assigned to me in one of my projects, and as you can see, that particular issue is marked in the, actually it's not the right location in which it is marked, but it is attached to the 3D view, and once it gets attached to the 3D view, uh, once it gets attached to the view, here is a much better view of the particular thing. So this is the particular issue. The issue number gets assigned automatically, and after the issue number gets assigned, so location location, and I mean, who is raising this issue. First of all, you can see the information that who raised this issue, what was the date he raised it on, and the issue has been assigned to whom. It is clearly visible, and after you answer the issue, you can easily change the option to answered once you answer it. Okay. So I mean, when you receive this issue, you receive a description that what is the particular what is the particular issue, like the escalator 5 and 6 location is not matching with the architecture model. So once I received this particular issue and I answer to it, I attend all the issues. This answer directly goes to the client who is checking the models on the other end. So we can add a response. And this when was the issue raised? This was the issue raised date, and 18th November was the response date to that particular issue from our end. And you can see that it shows the linked document from which this particular issue has been raised, and who is the owner, and I mean root cause and all can actually be assigned and specified, but that depends upon the project members or project checking team who is exactly doing it. And you can easily once after the answering, you can change the status to answered, and it will automatically get updated to the client who has raised the issue in the first place. So this was the issue management in Revit in BIM 360, and these are the now this is the markup option which you can see. This is for the sheet. So issue creation is for the 2D and 3D, but most of it is used in a 3D format because it is easier to maneuver in that case. And in the 2D sheets, we can easily see that. A markup option is always there. The client whom we have given the submission, they open each and every sheet, they check each and every sheet, and this is the format in which they create the markups. So in this particular sheet, they have there is an option of if I go to the next slide. Yeah. So if you see this, then this is the particular markup which has been created from my client, and in 3D also they have created, and they can easily write that. I mean, this 3D view gets saved first of all. This particular 3D view which you can see is gets saved, and in the same location when you assign a markup, the markup which goes to the team who is working on it, it goes in the same 3D view in which the markup was placed, and it is to be answered. I mean, it is to be answered by us only, and has to be response back to the main checking team who's there. And on this page you can see the different types of reviews we have generated. So basically this actually shows the project workflow, that once we submit a model, so the model on the left hand side which you see closed are actually the some of the models which we have submitted and which went through the let me just yeah. So these are all the models which we have submitted and which has gone through the total workflow which we had created for the project. So in the workflow, it can be decided that who is the initiator. Is suppose there is a six-step workflow which we choose, or the person who is creating the workflow, he can choose the number of steps, and in those number of steps he can choose the initiator, the first step to which it goes to the second step, third step, fourth step, and then accordingly to that, after each and every step. So in this particular sheet you can see that a particular model which was submitted, it from the initiator it went to the reviewer one, to one of the department. They checked the model. They have, you can in the workflows, each and every reviewer can be assigned a particular response time as well. Suppose a 3-day time has been chosen for each reviewer, or if a reviewer asks for a 4-day or 5-day kind of a time, this can be easily chosen in the approval workflows. Okay, so different types of reviewers. So there are different reviewers who have checked the model, and then after all the reviewers have checked, it comes back to the approver, and the review on the bottom you can see review closed. So the review gets closed in the same way. So the closed review are the closed one which the models have been submitted and the review has been closed, and the progress also is marked. That with the review which get closed gets 100% completed, and the reviews which are open, you can see the progress of each and every model submission on BIM 360, that where my particular so suppose in this slide, if the particular model is at a reviewer 3 stage, so it will show a 40% or a 50% progress maybe inside the workflow approval process. Okay. So this was one of the aspect of how a model gets submitted and it gets checked and reviewed and returned on the BIM 360 platform itself. So this was the workflow progress, and yeah. So the next aspect which we would cover here are the clash detections. So everybody here in the industry, in the architecture industry, knows about the clash detection, which everybody does on Navisworks. So Navisworks clash detection is now a very getting a very common thing. So, but for Navisworks clash detection, there is a bit of a hassle in which each and every element, each and every NWC file needs to be created, and then a Navisworks working file does all the clash detection. And after the clash detection has been done, an NWD file is generated, which is sent to all the stakeholders or all the team members so that they can review their clashes. And if someone doesn't know how Navisworks works basically, so that gets a bit of a challenge that first that person has to be taught or they should know how Navisworks operates. So, but with BIM 360, it gets very simpler. It actually gets very simpler. So, in BIM 360, this class detection window which you see, these class detections has been directly done by selecting two models on BIM 360, two Revit models actually. By selecting two Revit models in BIM 360 only, so we create a particular view. Like on the right hand side, this particular black tab which you see, uh, I mean this we create a particular view, like for a particular building if we need to create a view, and then we create a particular clash review process, and in that particular view we select the models we select the models in between which we need to run the clash detections actually. So in this particular view we have selected we have selected one, two, three, four, five, and six models in between which we need to do our clash detection. So in these clash detection, obviously the model to model clash detection gets zero. So the second model to second model clash detection which you see gets obsolete. I mean, it doesn't show any kind of result. So all the model to model clash detection, if you see, it doesn't show any kind of result. But when you start running, when the software runs the clash detection between one model to the other model. So it shows a number of clashes between the two models. So this first model has so many number of clashes with different kinds of models. And these are so basically this is a permutation. BIM 360 allows you and gives you a permutation and combination kind of a report generated in between which different model gets clash detected between themselves and show you a format, show you a different kind, show you a sorry not different, show you a format, this kind of a format in which you can see all the clashes. So I'll show you it practically also. Just a sec. Yeah. So can you see these clashes? So this particular clash is between this first model and this third model, which you see. So these are models are similar as these ones only, but for the clash detection purposes, show you the results like this. So as soon as I click on one of the one of the clash numbers, it will give you a result like this. So this was a clash detection done between two models, and this gives you a clear clash detection report. If you guys can see properly, then there is a clash detection which was run between the HVAC and the plumbing model. So in the HVAC model, you right click on it, you can see the just a sec, I think it didn't show properly, maybe. It's not showing. Sure. That's what this thing. Yeah. So this is the class detection window between two models which we have selected from the list which we saw on the other screen previously. So this is the class detection between the plumbing and the HVAC model, and all the clashes are visible with the class numbers and everything. So this class detection is very easier to do and present on BIM 360 itself. So this avoids the basically this what it does is it avoids the hassle of knowing Navis works and getting around it, how it works and all. So it can be done easily in Win 360 only, and each and every clash can be basically assigned to any of the member. So if there is a clash, from the clash also, if there is a clash which needs to be avoided, I mean which is not an issue really, there is an embedded kind of a pipe which is going in the flooring. We need to avoid that clash. So we can write it not as an issue. And if we want to create an issue for a clash for someone, so this particular clash, if we say, just a sec, yeah, so this. So for this particular clash, we can click on this clash and create an issue in the same way. My colleague Tushar told you how to create an issue. So for the clashes also, these issues gets created, and this particular tab exactly shows you the tolerance of the clashes which you need to the tolerance of the clash detection which you need to do. So basically, this clash detection has been done on zero tolerance, and the tolerance you can easily enter. The tolerance you can easily enter, you can enter the units in which the tolerance can be given. So basically if you want to give 10 select the units and provide 10 then again run the clashes, so it will show you. You don't need to run the clash again and again, it will give you the results automatically once you update all this information. By analyzing all that, it will give you the information automatically, and all these clashes it will update automatically basically. So these were some of the practical things which are there, and how do you maneuver inside a model on BIM 360, and how do you do that? So this was one of an example from my side, and I guess I'll ask Tushar to take over, and
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Nissan sir, for taking us through the practical aspect of document management system. So
thank you.
till then, please, the attendees can give their questions in the Q&A, so that the speaker can answer it live, right? So before that, I would just like to take this opportunity to introduce you for the BIM for Design course for a practical training sessions that we give here in Capricorn. So just give me a moment. I'll just full screen it. Okay, so we have a course for BIM for Design here, which is mainly for architects, for civil engineers, interior designers, and all. So mainly it is a 3 to 4 months of course, which is time is after the office hours. So we give mainly the all the BIM softwares are taught here from the basics of Revit to your ACC and Navisworks and other Dynamos and all the BIM software that are currently used in the industry till now. So anyone, even the students that are there in their final year of their architectures or civil engineering, so they can even take this training. So this is the BIM for Design course, and we also uh, give placement or give them multiple job offers also accordingly. So, and next we have one BIM Guru. So BIM Guru is generally for the corporate offices, so mainly for the firms. So this is not like BIM for Design. This is an annual contract for 1 year, and according what the uh, office is doing, we'll be customizing the detail. If someone is like from the want the office to switch from their CADs to BIM, so we'll be teaching from the basics. And if someone is already in mid or intermediate state, we'll be teaching them for the advanced level as well. So this is for your BIM Guru. So any questions related to this also, or if they want to know further about BIM Guru or BIM for Design, they can contact us. So for the Q&A, please post your questions for the Q&A so that we can take the questions as well. Okay, so let's wait for 1 minute so that the attendees can type their questions. Okay, so we are not getting any Q&A questions. Okay. So I got a question here. What is with BIM Guru? Yeah. So sir, this is, I'll just share the screen again. Okay, so BIM Guru is generally for the corporate offices, for your architectural firms and all. So the offices, what they can do is that it is an annual based contract. So for a 1 year. So according what your offices is doing, we will be customizing and teaching the any project that you are doing that you have in your office. Will be teaching you how to do it on BIM. So if your office is in basic stage of Revit, we'll be teaching from the basic stage. If your office is like already in the intermediate state, or they can want to move to your advanced stage and all, so we'll be customizing it according to your office. Okay, so for any more details, if you want, so any Revit families also, if you want, or any project troubleshooting also, if you want, so we'll be doing that according to whatever problems you're facing in your firm. Okay, so any more details, if you want, you can contact us. So we'll be going through in details for that. Okay, so one that is for your BIM Guru, and BIM for Design is generally for individual professionals, like for architecture, for your architects, for your then civil engineers and interior designers. So individual professions can they can come and take the program. So we'll be teaching you all the softwares that are currently going on in the industry as well. And we'll be taking up a live project only that the individual is working on. And in that live project only, we will like show you how to do it from your scratch to your advanced level. Okay. So one question that I am getting by, so I would like Tushar or Nishant sir to answer this. That Autodesk Construction Cloud, most of the features look similar as SharePoint. So what is the core difference? So I'll just hand over to Tushar or Nissan sir to.
Okay, so ACC has two parts, like one is Docs and the other one is BIM Collaborate Pro. So in Docs, we just have document management. Like you can only, create your folder structures and you can add team members and upload your files over there in your particular folders and like create transmittals and everything. But for Revit work sharing, that is like if you want multiple people to work on the same Revit model, that is possible by BIM collaboration. And also the clash detection does like it doesn't have it. There is no feature for that on Docs. So in BIM Collaborate Pro, basically we have Docs, that is the base, and then we have BIM collaboration and model coordination over there. Model coordination is basically your clash detection, and BIM collaborate with BIM with design collaboration. Like you have the option of working on work shared Revit models, and then you can as Nishant sir showed that with different timelines with different consultants, like you can share your packages. Like for example, you are from the architecture team, so you can create a package, and in that package you have the option of including the Revit model, which model you want to choose, and what other files or documents you want to share with the other consultants. So that is BIM. For that you need BIM Collaborate Pro.
Okay, so we're getting another question. If Tushar, can you answer that? How much time is required to learn cloud software and document management?
This is very subjective, like it depends like how much time you are investing to learn it, and what is your like grasping power. But it is quite simple that it is.
Tushar, I would like to intervene in this. I'm so sorry for
Yeah,
stopping
sir,
you,
it's
and
okay.
I would like to say that it doesn't require any. I mean, it doesn't require any time to learn. Like there is Dropbox, okay. So there is Dropbox, there is SharePoint, and all those things. So basically, it doesn't require any time to figure out how you open a folder and how do you create different kinds of subfolders and how do you save your file there. So I mean, you just create your the way you create your central file on a particular server in your local office. The same way you create a central file on BIM 360, and all of the rest of the work is actually happening automatically. Only it doesn't require much of your effort. So whenever you publish a model or do anything, so that 3D view and 2D sheets and all those things gets updated automatically, and you can just click on the model and see all those aspects on BIM 360. So, but if you want to learn that how BIM 360 works, I mean how a particular aspect is done, yeah, how to share a file, how to publish a model, or basically how to do clash detection. That clash detection aspect and submission process needs to be actually learned, which doesn't take much time. But rest of the things, saving files and viewing them and all, is actually a basic thing which everybody has been doing when they started using a computer.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
sir. And also one another question that I am getting, that is it part of the 4 months course? Yes, sir. Is it a it is a part of the BIM for Design course. We teach ACC there also. So it is a package. So you'll be learning all the BIM softwares that are currently going on in the industry. Okay, so I think no more questions for now. Okay, so lastly, lastly for the vote of thanks, so I'd like to take this opportunity so to thank Nishant sir to giving us the practical aspect of BIM 360, and also I'd like to thank Tushar also for getting us through, right? So thank you Tushar and thank you Nishant sir. And lastly, I'd like to thank all the attendants so like taking the time and joining us for this webinar. So thank you everyone. So I'll be ending the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.